The album is out, and I have such uncomplicated feelings of joy about it.
Yep, Taylor Swift dropped her 12th studio album, The Life of a Showgirl, on Friday. If you count the Taylor's versions albums, this is her 10th album in 6 years. Wow. And you'd think, she would have oversaturated the marketplace, but nope. Fans were still eager to hear new music from her.
I think you're going to break all the records.
All of them?
I think you are.
Oh
Since
my God.
time began, I think the music's going to explode.
On its opening day, The Life of a Showgirl racked up 251.5 million streams on Spotify, the second biggest album debut of all time, only behind her last album, The Tortured Poets Department. Now, I don't know if I'd call this a record, but the 251 million streams made it the most streamed album on any single day in 2025.
It's giving no girl, not showgirl. What are we doing? Elegance. Charm. Not that.
Now, first single, Fate of Ophelia, did set a record.
I can see it all.
With just under 31 million streams, it became the most streamed song in a single day in Spotify history. And just to demonstrate Taylor's dominance, not surprisingly, track 11, Honey, was the least streamed song from the album. Because I've said before, track ordering pretty much determines the order of the tracks on the streaming charts. Because someone turns on the album and then people start to fall off as the album goes on. The only thing that really upsets that order is features. But Honey may have been the least streamed with just under 16 million. But still, it's a bigger debut than any other song released in 2025. Yeah. And Saturday, the album racked up another 137.4 million streams. According to Billboard, the album moved 2.7 million units in its first day on Friday. 2.7 million in one day. So, for first week sales record, it's Adele's 25 album, which moved 3.4 million units in 2015. In a week, 3.4. Taylor did 2.7 in one day. So she only has to move another 800,000 copies from Saturday to Thursday in order to beat Adele's record. I don't see if there's any way that's not going to happen.
Wouldn't that be fun if even just one record got broken? I don't know what they are really right now that we're talking about.
I love you, Taylor, but I don't believe that for a second.
There's no other songs coming.
Well, yeah, technically there's no other new songs that have dropped in the 4 days since the album did. But on day 2, Taylor did announce that she also had done acoustic versions of some of the tracks. Okay, fine. There's 8 acoustic recordings in total, but they're not all on one, deluxe edition of the album. No. Those 8 tracks are spread out across 4 different special editions of the album. There's only 2 acoustic recordings on each special edition. So to hear all 8, you have to buy the album 4 more times. Taylor, come on. I know buying your masters costs a lot of money, but you can't be hurting that much for cash. You need to squeeze all this out of the Swifties. The thing is, she's probably going to beat Adele's record, on its own, just the album on its own. But to do all these antics of, different editions, it's going to put kind of an asterisk on you breaking the record.
But I think you're going to break a lot of them.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so that's the numbers. A crap load of people are listening. Yeah, of course. What are the critics saying? Well, Rolling Stone is head over heels once again, giving the album 5 stars, writing, Taylor Swift conquers her biggest stage ever on The Life of a Showgirl. I don't really get that, but on her 12th studio album, Swift hits all her marks from new, exciting sonic turns to incisive storytelling. This follows them calling The Tortured Poets Department an instant classic, and Midnight's an instant classic as well. Taylor was quick to share Rolling Stone's review on her Instagram story and retweeted it as well, which propelled Rolling Stone's tweet to be seen by 11.4 million people and no doubt saw a huge surge in page views. Variety sure seemed to be angling for a retweet with their lengthy tweet that gushed, "Nobody does it better than Taylor Swift, now or at any point in time." Huh? When it comes to delivering world-dominating pop that feels all the feels and doesn't stint on the thoughts either. With her 12th studio album, The Life of a Showgirl, Swift once again proves that balance. Makes for an album that stands as close to being an uncomplicated good time as anything she's ever done. Really? Okay. Yeah, they gave it 9.2 out of 10. The New York Times gave it 8 out of 10, saying, on Showgirl, Taylor Swift has a lust for love and her foes. On her 12th original album, the pop superstar sounds hungry to embrace her future, but not until she attends to some unfinished business.
But it's lovely and bright and happy, but it's
also got teeth to it.
It absolutely has.
So I'm proud of that too, because it's a full picture of the full life experience.
So those are the 3 reviews that are kind of on the high end. Now we get to a bunch of 6 out of 10s. Pace gave it 6.3, writing, The Life of a Showgirl, The Death of Her Past. Given Max Martin's track record in the studio with Taylor Swift, her 12th album rings a tad disappointing. Even so, it delivers on the promise of a punchier pop album and more than justifies its existence with crisp production and unexpected melodies if you can stomach the lyrics that range from oddball to cringe. I will say I took to heart Taylor and Travis Kelce hyping this album up.
As you said, bangers.
So I was expecting the reteaming of Taylor, Max Martin, and Shellback to produce some earworms on the level of their past collabs.
We did We Are Never Getting Back Together, I Knew You Were Trouble, 22, Shake It Off, Blank Space, Style, Wildest Dreams.
Oh, hell yes.
Ready for it.
So that's the energy we're going with.
And none of these 12 tracks even rival those past hits. Clash also gave it 6 out of 10 rating. A mixed return for the era-defining pop juggernaut that lacks the sharpness of her previous efforts. The Life of a Showgirl has its moments, but lacks the consistency of Taylor's recent work. Los Angeles Times also gave it 6 out of 10. Their headline says, Taylor Swift's Life of a Showgirl is an immaculate act of damage control. I read the whole review and I don't really know what the reference to damage control is. The Telegraph was another 6 out of 10, saying Taylor Swift's new album is as sickly sweet as a Barbara Cartland fever dream. The Life of a Showgirl gives us romance and wit, but lacks the drama of her earlier music. I apologize to the late Barbara Cartland, but yeah, I had to Google who she was. Yeah, she was an English romance novelist. Enemy gave it 3 out of 5 stars, saying it's magical when the songwriter just lets herself be. Some classically Swiftian sweetness can be found in this escapist romp when it's not dissing Charlie XCX or lauding Travis Kelce's manhood.
His love was the key that opened my thighs.
Consequence gave the album a B-, saying Taylor Swift's Life of a Showgirl is all dressed up with nowhere to go. Pitchfork gave it 5.9 rating. A dozen albums in, Taylor Swift's never been bigger, and the music's never been less compelling. The Guardian gave it 4 out of 10, saying dull razzle-dazzle from a star who seems frazzled. So yeah, far from Taylor's best reviewed album. What do I think of the album? Not that you really care, but I'm going to give you my opinion anyways. Well, it's better than the Tortured Poets Department. That's saying something. But yeah, I like Opalite. I like Father Figure, Actually Romantic, Honey, Wood. Nicki Minaj tweeted, "Oh Taylor, Wood was exactly what I needed tonight. Thank you." Nicki and I are on the same vibe when it comes to the closing track. I love how animated Sabrina came in on her verse. She's fully in character. She gets it.
She was a menace, the baby of the family in Lennox.
And yeah, it made Taylor a little more lively in her vocals too on that closing track.
I paid my dues with every bruise. I knew what to expect.
Now, Nicki called Cancel diabolical.
There's always some element of drama that someone is forcing into my consciousness, which is fun to write about too.
To me, it feels extremely out of date. Like, one, it feels like a Reputation leftover.
Maybe I got mine, but you'll all get yours.
Now we actually have, things that are being canceled, like The Late Show with Stephen Colbert and Jimmy Kimmel briefly. People are losing their jobs, at least briefly losing their jobs. So it seems to me in poor taste for someone who, is the most streamed artist, of the day, and had one of the biggest tours of all time, singing about being canceled on Twitter, like just make believe stuff.
Welcome to my underworld where it gets quite dark.
Like, real people are losing their jobs, Taylor. It just seems inappropriate to be singing a song like that. Now, I already did a segment on Wishlist.
This is my favourite song on the album, and I'm going to play it right now. It's Wishlist.
Oh, that means the world to me, because that might be my favorite too.
Yeah, that was a standout favorite of the London radio disc jockeys that Taylor visited on her tour on Friday. And yeah, I said then that I thought the song was okay, and yeah, it's okay. Now, ironically, Billboard ranked all 12 tracks, and they ranked Wishlist last. And they actually had Ruin the Friendship on top.
Should've kissed you anyway.
I'm teetering between a B and a B- for this album. I think I'm going to give it a B-. The other thing that I am accepting, myself at least, is that I think Taylor Swift has peaked creatively. Her last stellar album was Midnights. Every major artist has their run of making, great to amazing albums. And at some point, they teeter off a little bit. Like, you can't keep it up forever. And rarely does an artist make it all the way to, album 10 or 11. But yeah, the fact that, for me, her last 2 albums have been underwhelming, and she doesn't seem to be really challenging herself anymore. She's kind of, staying within her wheelhouse. And even reuniting with Max Martin and Shellback, she didn't create even one song that rivals, those big hits. I'm not saying Taylor's not making good music anymore. I'm just saying that, yeah, I think she's past her kind of, the height of her creative, genius. I think it's kind of okay now. She's kind of, coasting. The only artist these days that's at that level still is Miranda Lambert. She's on album 11 with 3 Pistol Annie albums as well. And she still hasn't, fallen off yet. I'm sure she will too, I think. Yeah, there's some solid stuff on Life of a Showgirl, but it's, more the same from Taylor. She's not surprising me anymore, and she's not delivering the earworms that she once did. But yeah, what do you think of Life of a Showgirl?
Every single song is on this album for hundreds of reasons.
Yeah.
And you couldn't take one out and it be the same album. You couldn't add one and it's just right.